Hello, everybody. Welcome to Small Talk. Well, joining me today is Vanessa Vieira. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And if you want to know where she works or why she's here, just read her Bosley. So it's a pet supply store right here in Chilliwack. Let me just turn the sound up a little bit. So, how long have you been with Bosley's?
I've been with the company now 8 years. It would have been 8 years in August. So
Oh, wow.
yeah.
And you're the manager?
Yes, I am the manager of that location. I actually started out as a part-time employee at a Tysol in Langley, owned by the same company. And then I moved to the Bosleys in Abbotsford a few months later because they needed a manager. And then once that store sold, I came out here to Chilliwack. So I've been at the Chilliwack one for 6 years, I
Wow,
think.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it you like about it?
Like I love animals,
Mm,
so that's one of the main reasons why I started working for the company. I like providing people information about things. I'm big into reading and kind of looking up and researching things. So being an animal lover myself and wanting the best for my pets, I love giving that knowledge to other people. And I mean, you can't ever really have a bad day at work because people come in there. Usually, it's because they're happy and excited. They got a
yeah.
kitten or a puppy, or they're just shopping for their pets. So
Right. And they're allowed to bring their animal into the
yes,
store, right?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any unusual pet animals there?
Occasionally, so I'm trying to think. In the past, I've had a potbelly pig.
Okay.
One lady brought in a crow that she had raised,
Oh,
yeah, since a baby. She wasn't buying anything, but she brought him in just to hang out.
right.
I think there's anybody else. We have people that have like lizards and stuff, but those are the two that stand. Oh, and one time someone brought in a baby duckling, and that was pretty cute. So those are like the big ones, yeah.
Do you ever get a case where somebody's got an unusual pet? Now, I'm not talking about dog or cat necessarily, but they really don't know best kind of food to feed them.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I think people are much more aware nowadays, especially people are more aware of what they're putting in their body.
Right?
So you still get the customers that come in that they wanted a pet for their family. Maybe they got a golden retriever puppy, but they really don't know what to feed them, what kind of chews to buy them, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what might seem like makes sense to me. It's because I've been in the business so long, because I
Sure.
do so much research where some people don't even barely have time to do regular things, let alone look into things. So yeah, I would say more people know than not, but we still get a decent amount of people that come in and they don't know where to
They
go.
don't know. Now you have pets.
Yes, I do.
What do you have?
I have a Doberman Pinscher.
Hmm.
He's almost 3, and then I have 2 cats.
Okay.
Yeah.
They all get along?
Yes, actually. Yeah.
This, despite what people think, cats and
Yeah.
dogs do get along, or they can get along.
Yeah.
There's cases where they don't get along.
Yes,
It's a different thing,
absolutely.
right? And one of the things I know about Bosley is they're very generous with providing free supplies for
Hmm.
the, I know for the maybe the Chilliwack Free Store or
Yeah.
right. So have they always been like that?
So I think it does somewhat vary by location, but Pet Value, who like the Bosleys is under that
Oh,
umbrella.
I see. Okay.
They we do a lot of national campaign stuff. So we do like right now we're doing the Roundup campaign where every little cent that gets rounded up, it goes towards a national program for spay and neuter clinics,
Yeah.
but like the mobile ones.
Right.
And then each individual Bosley's gets to also pick rescues. So right now, on top of the roundup, sorry, every October we get to pick a rescue, and then you donate products to them.
Okay.
And then on the side, you can do things like we do a lot of donation baskets for
Yes.
local organizations. We donate lots to the food banks because I know they need a lot of stuff. So each Bosley's gets to kind of pick and choose where they want to donate when it comes down to their individual store, because there may only be, if you're in a town somewhere up north, there's not a lot
Hmm.
around you. There may only be one, whereas in Chilliwack, we have lots of organizations. We
Right.
try to give fairly to everybody. So,
So how much say do you personally have in who gets what?
for our store, the big ones that we do are like Huggable. We do the care center here in town, which is like the dog pound.
Okay.
So the Chilliwack Safe Haven, ABC Cat Rescue is the cats that we keep in the store. We donate to them. And then the Chilliwack Food Bank, the Seabird Island Food
Oh,
Bank.
okay.
And then there was one more, I think.
Well, I know for the free store, Chilliwack Free
Yeah, and we've
Store.
done with them as well. Yes,
Yeah, for sure.
correct. Yeah.
Actually, one year you even donated a basket to was I think it was the first year of the Cupcake Festival.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So we're
Yeah.
doing a fundraiser, so
Yeah.
that was pretty
And
cool.
they
Yeah.
bring us cupcakes all the time now. It's
Well,
great.
yeah, well, it seems only fair to
Yeah.
me anyway, right?
Yeah.
And how many people employees do you have?
Currently right now we have 9, including
Okay.
myself.
Are
Yeah.
they all full-time or are they permanent part-time?
So there's me and the assistant store manager, we're full-time, and then 2 other full-time regular employees, and then the rest are part-time.
Right. What were
Yeah.
you doing before this?
So I worked actually at the care center in town a few years. I was an animal control officer.
Oh,
I did the adoptions there a little bit. I worked in the office in the kennels for a while. And then I've worked in other pet retail, like a Pet Cetera we used to have here in town. I
right.
used to work for them. And then I also like did installation for alarm companies for a little bit as well. So a little bit of weird stuff, but for the most part, I've kind of been involved in the pet space one way or another. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now is there only one Bosley's in Chilliwack?
There's two. So the other one's on the Sardis side of town.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that's separate. How does it work? Are they a franchise?
No, so we're both corporate
Oh,
locations.
okay.
We are the only corporate locations like in this area because the two in Abbotsford are also franchise.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, so what makes a difference? Like, was there a reason why?
So a franchise is just if like an individual person wants to buy a
Sure.
location. They have a little bit of difference. Like we're very similar in some ways, but sometimes franchises can get maybe things that we can't necessarily get from our warehouse. They have a little bit more flexibility with different vendors they can buy from,
Okay.
where we have a little bit more strictness when it comes to that. But otherwise, like the quality of service that you get, they should all usually, unless they're really old, have dog washes. And we
Okay.
all carry like the same like base level products for the most part. So
Mm-hmm.
not a huge difference between the two.
Right.
Yeah.
Do people come in with sick animals? Or,
Sometimes,
yeah.
yes. We luckily have a vet a couple doors down that we have a really good relationship with, but we do have customers come in sometimes that, want it. Is there like an alternative to having to buy vet food, or maybe they just want our opinion on like if their dog's eye is goopy or something.
Yeah.
So we make sure that we don't cross the line as far as if it's like a medical thing,
Sure.
go to the vet.
Yeah, yeah.
But otherwise, we try to give people, if their dog's having upset tummy or some skin issues, we try our best to give them solutions that they can do at their own home, essentially.
Right.
So,
Like
yeah.
one thing, like I believe because well, I don't have any pets now, but I used to do pet sitting and did own them in the past. But I find that animals tend to get people like illnesses or skin problems and cancer and all those things that humans get, right?
Yeah.
And they also get stressed.
They do. Yes, absolutely. I find animals are very intuitive.
Yeah.
And like certain animals are more sensitive than others. For example, cats are very sensitive, like with upper respiratory,
Mhm.
versus dogs I find tend to have more skin issues than cats do. So yeah, it does kind of depend on that for sure. And like I've noticed over the years, like a lot more animals are having some of these issues. And
Yeah.
so that's why also too we try to talk to our customers about like, finding ethical breeders or ethical rescues to make sure that they're getting an animal that, is not going to potentially cost them a lot of money in the long run with
Right.
vet bills. And if they do come across, sometimes people, like we had one lady that brought a dog from Greece that she had
Whoa.
found.
Right.
And so, like, obviously, you don't know the genetic history. So we try to make sure that we give them the best products that we can to help them live, like, the most optimal life,
Yeah,
right?
for
So,
sure. Yeah.
yeah.
No, it used to be, well, I used to hear about if you were going to change an animal's food to do it gradually. Is that
Yes.
true?
Yeah. So I find so it used to be kind of the old way of thinking was you feed the same thing their whole life, whereas now they're finding that it can sometimes cause a bit of sensitivity problems because imagine if you only ate pizza your whole life
Yeah.
and then try to eat a piece of broccoli, your stomach's gonna be like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So yes, changing food gradually, if you have to switch brands is always a good idea because if they've been eating the same brand for a while, it'll usually have a certain type of ingredient panel, things like that. And if you change to something, say, very high protein, it's a shock on the system. So it's good to change over gradually. And there are obviously products and supplements you can help with that. But generally, most foods nowadays, you can stick within that line of food and rotate, which is the best way to
Okay.
do it. So that way your pet doesn't become like, if they only eat beef for 10 years and then you try to introduce chicken, they might have a sensitivity because they're not used to it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a question in mind and it just went out of my
Oh,
head.
sorry.
No, and it's not your fault. I was listening to what you're saying and then, I knew I was going to ask a
Happens to me
question.
all the time.
Oh, yeah, I remember. What about, is it okay to give animals people food?
So I think the way sometimes people define people food is, pizza and ribs and stuff. Not a good idea, especially if you have a breed that's prone to pancreatitis. You want to be careful, which is like an issue with their pancreas.
Okay.
Generally, sometimes food with too much fat, so like bacon or something, can cause that. So it's better. to give them, like if you're going to give people food, for example, you'd want to do like carrots or blueberries,
Okay.
or I'm trying to think of something else like pumpkin, things like that is okay. Or sometimes people will give like salmon oil and things like that. But I would stay away from processed foods. So anything canned, anything that's cooked with a lot of seasoning, or like a lot of garlic and onion, things like that, you don't want to feed them, just because first it can cause pickiness. Because then the dog's like, why would I eat this dog food?
Yeah.
I have a
This is
steak.
better.
And the other thing too is you don't want to get them sick because there are certain things, like for example, grapes or avocados that they can't eat, like a dog. So
And is chocolate bad for dogs?
yes. So I believe it's the caffeine in the chocolate, the cocoa, that's bad for them. The darker the chocolate, the more pure, the worse it is. Versus like a Kinder Surprise egg. I mean, it's not a lot of real chocolate, but even so, it could make them sick just because it depends how much caffeine is in there. So best to stay away.
Okay, good thing to know. Yeah, because you hear all of these things, but you're never sure, right?
Yes.
That people should do this or shouldn't do that. Is it an old wives' tale or is it for real?
There kind of is a lot of lists online you can find of like certain medications that you can give them, like a baby aspirin, for example, for dogs, or versus can't. And then there's certain things as well for foods, so like grapes, avocados, garlic, things like that. And those are usually, I find they've over the years they've stayed pretty consistent. So.
Okay, yeah. And what else I'm gonna ask? Oh, I just wondering, when one of my nieces used to have a hedgehog.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't know how they were that tiny.
Yeah, they're
tiny
so small.
So do you ever get things like that in the store?
Occasionally. I think it probably depends on where the Bosley is located, because I find depending where you are, you may have more niche pets. Out here, it's rare. We have had a few hedgehog customers. They haven't brought them in, but I've heard them talking and asking for food and things like that, but not as common. I find dogs, we're a big dog store, cats as well.
Right.
And then small animals like rabbits and guinea pigs and things, but not a ton of like niche pets like that, or like ferrets. It's pretty rare.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. What do you have fish? Do you sell fish?
We don't sell any live animals. We do cat adoptions only, but we don't. We used to have betas way back in the day. We don't have them anymore. So like a PetSmart or something is we usually tell people go there if they want live animals. Yeah.
I mean, I've been in the store, but not shopping.
Yeah, for sure. No,
just
fair.
to find out if you want to be on the show.
Yeah, no, fair. Yeah, fair enough. We sell fish products like fish, food and things like that. We just don't have the live ones.
Okay, very good. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about the animals and what they need and what they don't need, or basically what they don't need. One of the things I think too, that sometimes I've known people who will overfeed, especially seems to be more with dogs than cats. I'm not sure if that's true. How do you get people not to do that?
It can be hard because pets are like people's children. So you have sometimes have to be careful in the way that you give advice. But if someone's having a dog with issues like that, sometimes we'll try to put them on a lower calorie food so they don't necessarily have to drastically reduce the amount of food they're giving, but per cup it's less calories.
Right.
And then we try to recommend, if you're going to feed treats, like treats with lower calories. And then think about, we also will ask them things like how many treats are you giving a day? Can you give like half of that? Because especially with cats, the calories in versus calories out, it's so it's such a minimal like line in between the two, because you can't really exercise a cat. It's hard.
Yeah.
Whereas a dog, you could take them running more or something and then they'll lose weight faster. But yeah, just kind of giving them those tips and tricks, and all you can do is just suggest and give them the advice, and it's up to them if they want to take it or not.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Speaking of running, I used to play chase with my daughter's cat.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, but she cheats.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I have my one cat, she runs on a cat wheel.
Oh.
Yeah. So I bought one off Facebook and I taught her with like a treat, because she's a very like outgoing cat. So I taught her with a treat. And so when people come over, she runs and runs and runs. It's very cute. So she's not fat because she gets her steps in.
Yeah, right. It's interesting too. Another thing, cats are trainable. People don't even seem to realize it, because I taught my daughter's cat to sit.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It doesn't take long either.
They're very intelligent creatures. I think it's been an old kind of thing where you would have a cat and you just let them do what they want.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think that's why people think cats are not very nice, because the owners kind of just left them to their own devices. They are a more solitary animal. They don't live in packs like a dog, but they're definitely trainable. And all the cats I've had have been really, really nice. And I've taught them things kind of like the wheel. My one cat, I taught her on a harness. So I think it just depends individually. I have adopted all my cats.
Right.
So also, obviously, if you adopt an 8-year-old cat, it might be a little harder than a kitten, but they definitely are trainable. It's just, cats are, just because they're more solitary, sometimes they're more stubborn that way, whereas dogs want to please.
Yeah, cats want to do their own thing. I mean, I want to do my own thing, so I kind of get it.
Yes, absolutely.
So now, what are the hours of Bosley's opening hours?
So we're open every day at 9 a.m. And then our location closes a little early. A lot of them are open till 9 p.m. Ours closes at 7 every day. And then on Sundays, we close at 6.
So you open Sundays as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Open 7 days a week, 364 days a year. The only day we're closed is Christmas Day.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the address of the one where you're at?
45955 Yale Road.
And it's easy to find. It's by the Valley Pharmacy. What
Yeah.
else is there?
There's a Panago Pizza, a Starbucks, and the Chilliwack Animal Hospital is in there too.
Right. It's on
Yeah.
your way to Shoppers Drug Mart.
Yes, correct.
It's on the road.
Yeah, correct.
Well, thank you very much for being here. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate that.
Thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome. And thank you for watching the show. I hope you continue to do so. And, it'd be nice if you shared or subscribed, all of those things. I don't usually ask, but sometimes,
It helps.
it helps. Anyway, take care, everybody, and peace out. Where's the off? They have to end it.